seeing practice now with the new depth, especially along the offensive line, you got like 19 guys in the room, where it's going to pay off later that you're not going to have guys who are running first, second, third team reps like they were last year?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have all those people, and we've had the natural bangs and bruises in camp, and so having some of those guys get first team reps, I think is really going to, number one, challenge some guys we thought had some, hey, he'll probably start for us, and some other guys have really emerged. And it's also, I think, allowed us to build some depth where, if a guy does go down in a game like they will, we have a really good player ready to step up and play.
When you're going against, offense first, defense to your guys, how do you judge, what's a good day for the offense, what's a good day for the defense?
Yeah, it's hard because for one side to have a good day, the other side has to have a bad day, so, I think we're just really, at the end of the day, trying to make sure that it goes back and forth, that one side, and early on, usually defense is ahead of the offense. But make sure that, it's not too much one side or the other. But I've liked it all so far. I think there's been tremendous competition, and, they go back and forth at each other. It's really, really competitive, and those are good signs for us.
How different is it from last year in that regard?
It's hard to even compare, so it's just like we're so much further ahead than we were last year, and that's no disrespect to anybody. I mean, just, they're a year in, they understand what we want better. What you see guys, you can see it with some of the young guys, right? When you don't really know what you're doing, it's hard to play fast and confident. And so you see guys that have been doing the same thing now for a year and they're confident. I tell that to the freshmen sometimes. They're a little bit overwhelmed, and it's amazing how, sometimes guys can get down on themselves really quickly. And the great thing is I tell them, I said, once you learn Coach Snow's system, it's not going to change. We're not going to change all of a sudden. And once you learn all of the terminology in offense, it's not going to change. So you have to learn it. But once you learn it as a freshman, by the time you're a senior, you can teach it.
Have you looked at the single-digit jerseys again this year?
No, not yet. I will do it, but just not yet. It's such a competitive thing, I think, this year that we'll wait. And it's always been a gut thing for me, like a feel thing, in terms of whenever I feel like we're ready to vote on that, we're ready to vote on that. This being, this is the shortest college football season in history. This is only practice 11. We used to go in 29 practices for the first game, so this is practice 11. So I still think we're, really, in my mind, really still in the first half of camp, and I want to give everyone an opportunity to really show what they can do. And everyone, when everything's going well, everyone shows how tough they are. I want to see when it's hard, and like we're going to have a good practice tonight, and we'll see who does it and who comes back on scrimmage as well on Saturday. So maybe a little bit later.
How has that toughness and grind been so far in training camp? I know you've mentioned before you like it when guys try to battle through that kind of stuff. What have you seen with that?
I mean, they've worked hard. I mean, the guys, the guys that are out there every day fighting, scratching, clawing. I mean, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of really the whole team. There's not anybody I have an issue with in terms of, hey, your effort needs to pick up. Our overall effort can improve, but I still think it's at a really good place, right? So, how do you go from good to great? You don't settle for good, right? And so we're just trying to get everything to be great, be an elite standard. But they're working. It's been hard. It's been hard on the coaches. It's been hard. We haven't taken a lot of breaks, and I think the guys have answered the call.
Next week, you guys are going to kind of run it like it's a game week, even though you're still 2 weeks out. Does that mean you're going to start settling on, your depth chart more or less next week, or do you still feel that that's a week out thing?
Yeah, so we try to take all those things day by day. In terms of sometimes young people have an idea like, oh, that's my spot. I don't really believe in that. If you're not, we have a standard of how you're going to play, and if you're not, in terms of the effort and the preparation, if you're not doing that, you won't start no matter what you did last year. So. But in terms of settling on that first game, I think that'll probably start to happen next Friday and Saturday. We'll try to, have 3 more good days next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rest a little bit on Thursday and Friday, and then, do like a little mock game on Saturday. So coming in that Sunday, I think the coaches will settle on, hey, here's the guys we're going to play with in that first game. And as you guys know, the new redshirt rule and all that, I think it'll be unique. We'll have a lot of, interesting conversations. A lot of it will have to do with health. We'll have to see how healthy we are at certain spots. But so probably next Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Matt, are there any long-term injuries yet, or are they still just kind of bumps and bruises kind of thing?
I mean, there's guys who are out for a week or two, but nothing for the season that I can think of. Taylor, so most of our guys are just out for a little bit right now.
Is that a little different from last year? It seems like you had some guys who were kind of out for a long time into the season last year.
I don't really remember all the things of last year. I think a lot of those things happened. The long-term ones seem to happen during the season to me, but I could be wrong. I think some guys got hurt early on. Grayland, in the last days, but they were only out for 3 or 4 days. We had some safeties kind of all hit one position last year, the safeties. But you know, I don't expect to have a team that's hurt a ton. I mean, I think our guys are practicing at a high level, and they're just so much more physically prepared for this now. I think Coach Scott and his staff, and Dave Schneider and his staff, and our doctor, I think they've done an amazing job. And so I think we're just more ready for college football right now. And but yeah, I think we're pretty healthy right now.
Coach Snell told us the other day that he feels like you guys have the depth on defense to do what you want to do, which is 45, 50 plays, keeping people fresh in the crazy Big 12. Is now that you have the depth, is it just having confidence in the guys of knowing the system?
Yeah, I mean, it just, as I say, it just comes down to how you play, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like if there's a line that's good enough to win with, right, either you're above it or below it. And everyone can be at different places for different reasons. Some guys have the talent and the knowledge to do it. They just don't have the confidence, or they don't play with the effort that we want. Or some guys are really talented, but they just aren't as prepared yet. They haven't studied enough. So we've been really challenging every single guy to attack the things that you need to do to get to where you want to be. And so I think we're going to have the ability to play a lot of guys, especially on the D-line. I like the way the D-line's coming around at corner. We've had some guys banged up, which has allowed some other guys to step up. So I think we'll end up with some depth there. And, yeah, just kind of see how it goes. But I think, I think you're going to be a good team. 10 years ago, you'd play 11 games, and you'd play, 60 plays a game. Now we're playing, 12, 13, 14 games a year of college football and playing 80, 90 plays on the side of a ball. So we're playing a couple more games, and so we need depth to allow us to get through, all that.
Matt, have you identified maybe some of the pass rushers? I know Phil said the other day that he was kind of looking at even different guys, maybe some linebackers, whatever. Have you identified maybe some of the pass rushing guys?
I think our whole D-line's getting better as pass rushers, which has been a major emphasis for us. We have really, really worked on it and put a lot of time into it. And then I'm sending everybody I can over there. I'm sending tight ends, wide receivers. When I was my last stop, I played a lot of guys both ways, and even last year we did some cool things with Taylor coming off the edge, Eric Oger would come off the edge, and so we'll put anybody in there that can get to the quarterback. And so, but I like the D-line itself. I think a lot of those guys are really emerging as guys who can get to the quarterback, and I really like where we are inside, between Ira and Lynch and Bravion and Tyrone Hunt and a bunch of other guys. I mean, they're really developing as interior pass rushers, which, Ira had 5.5 sacks last year, and a lot of that was just high effort, high energy plays, and now as he develops, he's developed a lot physically, but you also develop technique-wise, and you keep that effort. I think Ira could be a great, pass rusher. Bravion's playing at a really high level right now, which is outstanding to see. So,
obviously, turnovers and point of emphasis for the defense. Have you been happy with what you've seen in that area on their side of the ball, and has it maybe helped the offense be better with ball security?
Yeah, it's not to where it needs to be yet. I think the offense, as a result, as you said, one of the reasons why you practice that way and you emphasize it so much in practice is the offense now begins to protect the football at a significantly higher level. That's one of those things that sometimes as you get into camp, they get a little bit of fatigue about it, and so they stop stripping the ball and the offense stops protecting the ball quite as well. And we just have to be vigilant as coaches and ask the older players, hey, continue to work on this, because that is the number one stat in football is turning the football over and taking the ball away. So any way that we can control it, and it's a hard thing to control. Right? A lot of it is just kind of random, but if we can control it, we will. So we're trying to get there. We're not there yet, but I think it's improved from last year.
You've got several running backs. Has anybody kind of ID'd themselves that that's your short yardage guy yet?
No, not really. Good question. I think Jermichael and John have been, downhill runners for us. Ebner's a little bit more finesse. I love what Squirrel's doing, but he's, a little bit more of a get the ball on the perimeter guy. But yeah, we haven't really gotten to the point now where we say, hey, this is going to be the guy. And that's another, if we can bang the ball in from the 2-yard line better than we did last year, if we can convert on 3rd and 1 and 3rd and 2, we'll be a significantly better team. And so, but we're not there yet. We've tried Cody Bullard. We've tried a bunch of guys there. And tonight we're going to work. We're going to do it again tonight. We're going to do it again on Saturday. So hopefully someone will emerge during that time.
Coach, what have you seen out of Jacob Copeland, and what do you think his role is going to be this season?
He's been a little bit banged up, so I haven't seen very much from Jacob, so I'm not real sure what his role will be yet.
What's the conversation like between you and your guys? You just talked about the team meeting, either jokingly or not. You said, you felt good about it, and then how's that going to translate into the focus of what's practice going to be like today?
So I do a team meeting every day, right? I don't know if they learn anything from it, but it makes me feel good. So, but I just every day we try to take on a different subject. It could be something off the field, it could be something on the field, it could be something from practice, something from the day. We always try to use a little bit of football around the country. There's preseason games going on. There's hard knocks going on. There's all or nothing from Michigan going on last year. So we try to take as many different things as we can and teach off of it. We have different speakers. We have different people come in on the team, different people on the team. So, nope. That's just, yes. I know it's ridiculous. I'm sweating. Pardon me, guys. But yeah. So I think at any time you get up in front of the team, you hope that one guy hears one thing. If you say 10 things, you hope one guy hears one thing that'll help him. So hopefully they heard something today. I'm not sure.
Mac, you have 13 guys that have already graduated, particularly with Mac's emphasis on preparing champions for life. How significant is that for you to have 13 guys already with the degrees?
Well, I think it shows that what we're doing is right, and whole, and not us, but the university. And you hit it on the head. Mac is, his vision is to make sure that we're preparing the total student athlete for life after Baylor. And there's so many resources available here in Marcus Sedbury and his people, and many, many more. And so I'm just always happy to see guys that, number one, get their degree, number two, get their degree in something that they want to study and that they're passionate about. And then we have guys going on to graduate school and earning advanced degrees. And that's what we want. So I want that number next year to be even higher and just continue to push that because if you come here, getting your degree is like the bare minimum. It's not negotiable. I want way more than that. And but when they get it, that's an accomplishment. And I'm really fired up and happy for those guys. Last Saturday, Jamichael was, Jamichael, Illinois, and Ross all graduated, and Jamichael was kind of like, hey, can I miss practice? And I was like, I guess if you graduate in 3 years, you should miss a practice, right? So he and Illinois went. Ross didn't walk. Ross stayed here and practiced, but those guys practiced. Those guys graduated, and really cool to see guys graduating in 3 years. That's quite an accomplishment. I didn't do it in 3 years. And so I'm proud of Illinois, proud of Jamaica, and all the other guys who are graduating.
I don't know if fun is the right word, but is this fall camp, has it been more fun for you now that these guys are all bought in and they all want to be here?
I never felt that way like they weren't last year. I mean, it's like, I don't know if anyone can ever understand how hard it is for the players to go through a coaching change. It's hard on. It's not only hard on us as coaches. It's hard on our families. Like, oh, by the way, we all got to move. We all got to do this. But it's really hard on the student athletes, right? And so what was once left sometimes becomes right, and there's not that trust there on their end and not really on our, on anybody's end, right? And so you say something to somebody that you've had a relationship with 3 or 4 years, you're recruited, you're around them, they trust it, right? Someone that's coming in, they want to, you want to trust each other, but they're not real sure. And so I think last year, though, there were some guys that really helped bring the team together, and it wasn't great. We weren't where we needed to be. We're a step closer this year. We'll be even better next year, and year after year after year after. But, I've just seen a lot of guys. I've seen a lot of guys really improve where they are in their lives since last year. I've seen a lot of guys improve themselves as a football player, improve themselves as men, improve themselves as students. And, I'm proud of what our guys do. I mean, not many people could do what our guys do in terms of off the field, on the field, in the classroom. And one of my points today was be proud. Be proud of how we do things. Like, yeah, it's hard. We probably ask guys to do things maybe more than they would like, but be proud of that because you're going to leave here and you're going to go off, whether it's the NFL or life, and you're going to walk with your head held high, knowing that I do more. I'm a 10%er, and so I feel good where they're at. The term buy-in is everyone buys in at different degrees all the time. And so I don't care if I'm here for 20 years. In year 20, there'll be guys that are struggling to buy in to what I'm saying, and there'll be guys that are completely bought in. And that's just all, we're all coming from different times and places in our lives. At the end of the day, each player has to do the non-negotiables. They have to live a certain way. And then our job is to help them, help them just continue to buy in. And so same for the coaches, same for all of us. So, but I think our team's in a good spot. We're not where we need to be, but we're getting a lot better. And, I like our guys. I think that's a cool thing.
You got to meet the Bears coming up. Do you like that chance to maybe meet the fans, mingle with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great for our players. I think any chance we have for our players to go out and be there is really, really important. And we even on Friday, I believe, right, we'll have some young kids that are dealing with, so I don't know what the proper terms. I don't want to say the wrong term. What is it? Special needs. Thank you. They'll come here to practice, and I just love seeing our players in those settings. And I think it's since I've gotten here, there's not like 5 guys that talk to the media. I mean, I open them all up. I want our guys learning how to go out there and communicate. And I think when you see our players at the Meet the Bears, I just can't stand when you see those things. You see a bunch of cool guys, they're on their phones and too good to talk to people. Our guys are great. Our players are great in that regard. I mean, they touch people's lives, and they try to get out there and meet the fans. And then, I enjoy it, but I'm out in the community a lot. I'm not like a hermit. You probably see me. I might be dressed like this, but you'll see me and Julie out to dinner. I took my daughter to school today for the first day of school. I'm proud to be a part of this community, and so that's why it's fun for everyone to come. And I think it's just such a tremendous sign of how much people care about your program, and for our players, how much people care about what they do, that they're going to come and be out there in the heat and take their time and money to come here and drive and park and meet our players. So hopefully our players do a great job with them. I'm sure they will.
Matt, 10 or 11 days in, how do you feel about the quarterbacks, where you are with those guys?
Well, we have a long way to go. They're working hard. They're doing good, doing well. But a long way to go. Just we haven't gotten in all the situational stuff, And so, obviously you have Jalen coming in, learning all this brand new stuff. You have Gary, really his first training camp. Preston Hurd really getting an opportunity for their first time, and Charlie, it's last year he was able to go out there, when we were always the underdogs, right, and just kind of let it all rip. And now he's trying really hard to be the guy that can keep that swagger, but at the same time do the job, and do it when there's a little bit of pressure on us. And so I see them all improving. I see them all working hard. I see them all getting better. But we have so much situational stuff to do over the next couple of weeks, and that really I think takes the good quarterbacks and makes them great when they understand the situations.
You had mentioned last interview that Giancarlo had gotten some first-team reps with Free Morgan out. How close is Free Morgan to being back, and has Valentin impressed you?
Yeah, I mean, Giancarlo's got a lot of talent. He's not ready yet, but he's trying to get there. He's got toughness. He's been coached hard. And he's responding. Jake's not back yet. He'll be probably a little bit longer. So that's been a great opportunity for Giancarlo. Josh Malin, his knee. He just kind of over the years, we try to rest him here and there. So Giancarlo's gotten a ton of reps. Connor Galvin is a true freshman. Looks like he can play. Casey Phillips is a true freshman. He looks like he can play at tackle. Eliasa has had some really good days. So those injuries, they stink, to Jake, but they also give us a chance to look at a lot of these guys. And so I think the next 3 or 4 days will be really important for John, to practice tonight and then scrimmage on Saturday and see, just exactly where is he.